Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Lovely to see you all. I'm Sara Davison, best known as the Divorce Coach. Lovely to see you. I know we've had over 100 people register. Rima, it's coming in. People are asking to be admitted. So if you can just admit them each time, that would be great for me. Thank you. Um, so I've got my lovely team on with me as well. We have Rima. Hi. We have Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine, and Olivia as well. Hi, Liv. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming on tonight. So tonight is all about how you can become a breakup and divorce coach. And I am going to be sharing with you as much value as I possibly can. But I'd love you to ask questions. I'd love you, if you've got a question, just wave at me or shout out. Also, we've got the chat there as well. So if you could pop your questions in the chat as well. If you've got any questions, then do that. You might recognize some of my team. You might have spoken to them before, so do reach out to them as well on the chat. But yes, so I'm going to get stuck in, but I'd love to know where everybody is. Does everyone know how to use the chat box? If you go to the bottom, there's a little chat button down there. If you just pop in where you are, that would be interesting, because we have coaches who've trained 700 coaches now across 30 different countries, across 5 different continents. So we do have a huge range of people from all over the world doing this. It's a very fast growing niche, as you probably know. Pretty much everyone on the planet goes through a breakup, right? And so there's a huge market of people that need our help right now. So let's see, we've got London, Guildford, Ducklington. Oh, I've never heard of that. That sounds great. In Oxfordshire, Stevenage, and Nottingham. Okay, fantastic. I'm in Ascot. But and we've got Raman is in Windsor. Hello, just down the road from me. So yeah, so tonight I'm going to show you how you can become a breakup and divorce coach. Now, I'm really interested to know, those of you who are on already, why would you like to become a breakup and divorce coach? Have you been through it? Are you going through it still? Drop it in the chat so I can see, just because I want to make sure I tailor everything I'm saying to you tonight so I can show you how you could grow a coaching business and make it successful for you. So maybe you've been through it, you've been, your parents went through it. Someone messaged me today saying their parents have been through it. Would it be a good fit for them? We do have a lot of coaches who are the children of divorce, who have seen friends and family go through divorce, and lots of people who have been through it themselves. Yeah, Claire's been through it. Also, you'll find your tribe with us if that's the case. A lot of us have. Yes, some people are already coaching, counseling, in therapy, working in therapy, who are looking to add this extra income stream to the bottom line of their business already. Instant revenue stream if you've already got those clients coming through the door. So we have lots of people who've also been in the corporate world. Anyone here been in the corporate world at any point? If you, yeah, if you've been in the corporate world, I'm going to tell you about something, this really new thing that's happening in our industry, which is super exciting if you do have corporate experience as well. Okay. Okay, some people are in counseling, lots of people have been through it. Okay, so I've been through it, obviously. I'm known as the divorce coach. To be honest, it's not really a job title you dream of when you're at school. So it was something that I found myself in because I was catapulted out of my own marriage about 16 years ago now, just over 16 years ago, when I found out not only did my husband not want to be married to me, but he was madly in love with somebody else. And that somebody else was 12 years younger. That never helps. Stunningly beautiful, again, really does not help. And she was pregnant. Now, we worked together. We had a global business. We had my son was only 1 at the time. So again, very young. So what I found out was that pretty much everybody else in my business knew about it, apart from me. We had nearly 200 staff, an office in London and an office in Sydney. So after probably 3 months of ugly crying and phoning my mum at 2 a.m. in the morning because she's the only one that answered the phone, sort of sobbing my way through 3 months and feeling very sorry for myself, I decided that I was going to go to Australia office, have a break, put some pretty large amount of distance between me and my ex, and see how I felt. But I got to the Australia office and realised that actually everybody out there knew as well. And I knew that because they kept coming up to me telling me, oh my gosh, Sara, now you know I'm so relieved because I've known, I didn't know whether to tell you, but this is how I found out, or I saw this email, or I caught them here. It was too much. So I took myself out of the office and I went for a walk down Balmoral Beach. I don't know if anyone's been to Sydney, but it is the most stunning white sand, turquoise sea. But there I was, perched on the seawall, sobbing my eyes out again. And actually, I remember this moment purely because it was a really pivotal moment for me. It was literally life changing because I looked up and this cockatoo flew down right by my feet, just like pigeons do in Trafalgar Square. You know, so it was this beautiful white cockatoo, this yellow thing down its head. It was just stunning. And I just thought, what am I doing? Enough is enough. I am done with the pain. I am done with feeling bad. I am done with struggling. I need to take my power back and turn things around. I know there's a way through this. And my motto, screw you, watch this, was born. And I stepped up. And that was a real turning point for me. And everyone has that turning point in their life where they come to that crossroads where it's, this can either define me and follow me around like a grey cloud for the rest of my life, or I can step up, take my power back, and do something about this that's positive. And in that moment, I decided that I was going to create the tools that I couldn't find. I tried therapy, I tried counselling, and whilst there were some useful things in there, I've been a coach for 15 years at this point, and I really needed someone to tell me, Sarah, look, when you have to go to the office and they're both there, this is how to cope with that. You know, this is how to deal with your betrayal. This is how specifically to deal with heartbreak. This is what the divorce process is going to look like. So, real sort of directive suggestions and tools. As a coach, I knew I could change how I felt, but I didn't, it's very hard to do it on yourself. So creating the tools and techniques for every specific scenario I found myself in became my mission over the next few months to create a toolkit that I could then share with other people, and which I have done. My first book, Uncoupling, was a bestseller overnight. So was my second, The Split. I have a podcast called Heartbreak to Happiness with, nearly 750,000 downloads now. I've been going for a long time. I've had some amazing celebrity guests on talking about their journeys, as well as your everyday people and your experts in this field talking about how you can help yourself to get through and cope better. So I'm also the patron of a domestic abuse charity. Anyone here experienced a toxic relationship? Just to get a vibe of you here, has okay, a few of you, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about that in a bit because I developed a course which is really to help us support people coming out of toxic, narcissistic, abusive relationships. And as you may have noticed, there are definitely more awareness. We're seeing a lot more of them right now. So again, it's a great tool to have. So let me tell you about the training. But as I said, if you've got any questions, I do want this to be as interactive as possible. So do join in, ask questions, throw questions at me, put them in the chat. And my team can also help answer them as well. So also, just as a heads up, I am going to tell you that the training is amazing and that you should do it because I wrote it and I love it and I'm extremely passionate about it, as you'll probably find out. But I have invited some coaches on today, one, maybe two tonight, to see. Oh, Natalie's on already. Hi, Natalie. Who just wanted their time to come on and tell you from their perspective what this is all about as well. So that you don't just have to hear it from me. Okay, so you can ask them questions later as well. But let me give you a bit of an overview first. So I'm training you to be a breakup and divorce coach. So that covers anyone on the planet dealing with any kind of heartbreak, separation, including divorce, but not just divorce. Okay, so we just make it as a, you know, you can be working with, at the moment, I've got a boy called Lucas who's 19 going through his first heartbreak. Like, do you remember that? Like, devastated. Like, never find anyone else. Oh, my heart smashed to pieces. She was the only one. But as we know, we do go on and we do meet other people, but he's in that first heartbreak. And then I've got a client who's 66 this month and his wife has left him. So he's going through a really tough time readjusting because he's never really been the one to organize things like social events and things. And he's feeling really isolated and alone. So again, we work with people at any stage of the breakup, before, during, and long after. Like, some clients come to me years and years after the divorce because they're still feeling stuck. So again, we'll give you the skills to work with anyone. But what we're dealing with is the emotional roller coaster that clients go through and the practical challenges. So we're not focusing on legal. We don't do any financial. That's not our lane. We stay in our lane. That's emotional and practical challenges. So I'll go into more detail on that in a bit, but I break the training down to 3 separate parts. The first part is how to be an outstanding coach. And the reason it's quite easy if you have training to be outstanding, because a lot of people go into this life coaching market is very saturated. They don't have enough skills or techniques. So what I'm giving you is everything you need. So it doesn't matter if you've never done a day's coaching before or any kind of therapy or counseling, will give you everything that you need. So in part 1, it's the coaching skills for this particular niche. So how to read body language, how to structure a session, what questions to ask, and when to ask them. The specific times to ask certain questions in a session, especially with vulnerable people. You don't want to bombard them with questions up front. It's a slow process, so we show you how to tailor what you're doing to that individual personality as well. And then my coaching is all about shining a light on unconscious behaviors, because we all have strategies that we just adopt, right? So maybe from our parents, we copy them, or we do the opposite, or maybe we just learned it over time. Quite often we haven't, for example, how to deal with stress. We haven't sat down and gone, oh, right, okay. So when I'm stressed, what shall I do? Shall I drink some wine? Shall I go for a run? Shall I? We don't, do we? We just absorb it from somewhere. And then that becomes our coping mechanism. We rarely challenge it. So what happens is a lot of these strategies are not helpful or damaging or keep us stuck. So as a coach, we're shining a light on those unconscious patterns like coping mechanisms, the triggers, so times of day where things might be worse, looking at why that might be so we can get in and find some solutions to change things up and do things differently. We're looking at communication styles, as everyone communicates differently. Find some clients when they're sad will just shut down, and others will tell everybody everything: the butcher, the hairdresser, the shopkeeper, the best friend, the mum, and then everybody else. And that's okay, it's all very normal, but it's how do we help those individuals? And then how do we resolve conflicts? Everyone has their own ways of doing that as well. Some people will shout it out, other people will just clam up, hold it inside. Some people will stuff it down and go to the gym. Might seem healthy, but actually all this is building up still. So we're looking at these individual strategies with our clients, because once they're consciously aware, that's when we can jump in as coaches and create shifts, create changes, and create quite a lot of what I call light bulb moments where those clients get those realizations, and then we can go with tools and techniques, suggestions. We can come up with all sorts of things to help them shift, because we can be very directive. So it's very dynamic, results focused style of coaching to get those fast, positive transformations, which is what we're all about. And we create in each session for every single client we see an action plan. Now, that could just be 1 or 2 things if they're in the early days and very overwhelmed, or it could be, 5 or 6 things. But I'll give you a specific way of doing it. So it's not like a list of homework that no one ever wants to do. These are specifically designed in a way to maintain momentum in between coaching sessions. So that's what we want to achieve. So we tip the balance and get them moving forward, which is how we get those leaps forward in between sessions that you're giving as well. So they come back going, oh my goodness, I've moved so far forward in 1 session. This is awesome. So that's part 1. Part 2 is where I give you the toolkit of all the different tools, techniques, the strategies, all the different tools. So you will have those then for each different scenario. Because one of the things that's really important to me is that you know what to say given all the different scenarios you're going to see, because there is heartbreak, there's betrayals, there's conflict, there's parenting issues, whether that's with the other parent or with the child, and different ages, different personalities, all cope differently. And a lot of our work actually especially the most rewarding bits, I think for me personally, is when we empower a client to empower their kids to cope better. I'm quite outspoken in the media about this because I believe that divorce does not have to be damaging to kids. Now, it can be, and obviously when I do those head-to-heads on TV, on the news channel, sometimes they throw someone on who's going, there's loads of research that definitely proves that divorce is damaging. And it can be, for absolute sure, but our job is there to help avoid that. And actually, it can be a very valuable life lesson for kids. In some cases, if we can get the healthy parent, if there is the client we're working with, to help that kid and give them age appropriate coping strategies, the life-changing differences that can be. Because teenage suicide rates are soaring, self-harm is on the list of coping strategies as well. And actually, what that does is it keeps people very, very stuck, and it's just a horrendous way to cope with things. Whereas at a young age, if they can see the parent as the role model for how to cope when the wheels fall off and you don't get what you want, they can model that. You could be a very empowering role model for your kids in those scenarios. And that's what we're looking to help our clients achieve. So we work very closely with them if they do have children, they want to work on that. And then we have the coping tools for turning your life around, that sort of personal growth stage where we're building on confidence or self-esteem. Especially important if they've been through a toxic relationship, because confidence will have been eroded, but also helping them to rediscover who they are now. You know, what do you want to do now you're single again? Do you want to get back out there? Do you want to start dating again? Do you want to get a new hobby? Who are you and what do you want? And most clients will get stuck at the point where they've kind of accepted that the divorce is done, to be fair. They're kind of like, okay, we're done. But they cannot see the future. And you cannot move towards something you cannot see. We just can't. So if they can't see what the future looks like, and it's either often a blank canvas or a black hole, we as coaches, we want to throw as much color on that blank canvas or shine a bright light into that black hole to illuminate it, so suddenly they get to see what the future looks like. That starts to tip the balance, and then we get the momentum moving forward. That's what this is all about, creating that momentum and shining a path for them, that they get excited when we reignite the sparkle in them to see what the future holds, to see how exciting it can be. And once you get that, even if they're in the midst of a divorce at the moment, I'll show you how to tandem coach, which is when you're working on the present day, like maybe the situation with the lawyers or the heartbreak or the issues with the kids, but we're also future pacing to another time in the future that they can see and feel and experience, so they're starting to get that momentum there as well. Otherwise, the divorce is done and they're sat there going, God, I miss my lawyers, which is really a bad place to be. So what we want to do is make sure that they smooth transition through that into the next phase of their lives. And that's where more generic life coaching skills and tools like dating again. Anyone been dating since their divorce? Is it an absolute minefield? Yeah. And actually, you know, a lot of clients probably are rightfully terrified of it. So I've created tools. So, for example, they can date with what I call safety nets. So we're looking at not just what they want, because most people know what they want from a new partner, right? Tall, dark, or blonde, short. People know what they want, but what do they need? So we do the work. We go back and look at the lessons they've learned, and then we create what I call these safety nets, so that when they go dating again, they can move forward with more confidence that they're meeting somebody that will have that certainty with them that they can build a future with, and avoiding the ones with the red flags going left, right, and center, because when they show up, they've done the work, they will deploy their parachute and exit the building with immediate effect. So they're not going to give someone a second chance or, oh, they didn't mean it. We're not doing any of that. So that's part of the work that we do. And we help you to work with clients in all those different areas as well. So there's a lot of different tools. People might need a new job. People might want to, they might want to, there's so many things people want to do right afterwards. The whole life's changed. They might be moving house. They might need to make some single friends. There's all sorts of things that might come up that they may need that you can help them with. I give you the tools to work across all those different things, which is really, really cool. So you'll never be stuck for how to help somebody moving forward. The next stage, stage 3, is really out of my own experience. And this, I think, is absolutely essential. Most training courses do not provide this. I give you the tools that will help you to grow a successful coaching business. Now, the reason I do that is because I've done this. So you're learning from someone that's actually done it and grown a global coaching business. You can follow me on Instagram, Sara Davison Divorce Coach. You can read my books, my podcast. You can see I've been out there doing this a long, long time. And I've tried a lot of things that didn't work. And you don't need to do that. I'm just going to fast track you through the things that work so that you can implement them. Now, does that mean it's going to be overnight up and running? No. This is a business. You've got to put time and effort. It takes consistency. But the tools that I share will absolutely help you to fast track your business growth. So we look at, for example, the number one mistake I see most coaches make in any industry or in any coaching niche is they don't have a brand. And the important thing to note with this is that people buy people in this industry. They're not buying your business, they're buying you. So who are you as a coach? What's your personality? What's your passion? I really don't see this as, you're starting a new career with this. Yes, it might be a new skill set, but you're bringing all your life experience, your breakup experience, your skills that you love, your people skills, everything you've learned. If you've worked in corporates, I'll show you how to incorporate that. If you've done like a yoga training, great, bring that in. If you've worked in law in the past, great, you can bring that in. If you've done some HR, or you've worked in nursing or caring or the healthcare sector, amazing. There's so many transferable skills you can bring in, and people want to be coached by people like themselves. So we need to identify who your ideal target market will be. Okay, we want to identify who they are. So, for example, if, for example, you've worked in healthcare and there's somebody going through a heartbreak who works in healthcare or is related to that industry or knows it well, they're going to have an extra synergy with you. That's going to resonate with them. If your breakup story, you went through a really tough divorce and you've got 3 kids, great. Someone else will be going through something similar. So what we want to do is, and you won't necessarily know all that now, but we will help you develop your brand so that all that comes to the forefront. And only what you're comfortable to share, because you don't need to put it all out there, but enough so people can go, oh, this person's worked in a corporate, or oh, this person's done this. That's the coach for me. So we'll help you do that, even down to the fonts and the colors you're going to use to represent yourself. And then we show you how to shine that through on a web page. It can be super simple. You do not need to spend loads of money on a web page, but we'll show you how to do that. What works best where, because we've done it, we've tested it. Also, social media. What do people want to see? What are they looking for? How do they engage? We can give you tools and techniques for that as well. And then also the old fashioned way, which I absolutely love, is still the networking way. So going and meeting people, whether that's on Zoom meetings or whether that's in person. But there are certain groups of people that will refer clients to you if they like you and they feel a synergy with what you do. So they will be people like family lawyers, if you can stand them, if you've been through it. You may not want to hang out with them too much, but they have a great source of referrals for us. If we can, and we show you exactly how to build those relationships, the kind of presentations you can do, what they need from a divorce coach, and how you can make it irresistible to them to have you as part of their team. Then also GPs need this. They have so many people going because of breakups. And what can they do for you if you've got a broken heart? Well, medicate, and that's it. So having somewhere to send these people is also really important. And I'll show you how to build different products at different prices. So you can get people in on a free, maybe a webinar or a free training or a downloadable guide. And then once people get to know you and trust you, they'll start to come through to you. Lots of different ways you can work with GP surgeries. And then for those of you who've worked in corporates, if you'd like to go back, or if those of you that haven't worked in corporates and really think that actually you'd like to go in there as well, what we've seen is the corporate market shift over the last 2 years. So I was part of a pioneering group called the Parents Promise that basically did a launch. We have MP backing, so we launched it in Parliament a couple of years ago to raise awareness of the impact of breakup and divorce on employees in the workplace. And there's loads of research to show that it reduces productivity by up to 40%. And domestic abuse in the workplace, there's some really shocking stats around that, and also some real safeguarding issues for HR teams when they do get disclosures of domestic abuse. So what we found is that there's a lot of HR or wellbeing leads, training leads who are looking for help and support for employees and training on what to do with breakup, divorce, and domestic abuse in the workplace. So if you have got corporate backgrounds, again, people like themselves, you're not just working on the emotional level, you're also navigating that political landscape that is the corporate world, right? So again, if that's something that you maybe know some HR directors, or a friend's works in a big company that could get you in front of an HR director, again, they're really good contracts to get. Obviously, you can charge a bit more in the corporate world, and the clients in the corporate world take more sessions because they're not paying. So what we find is the average consumer will be anything from 100 to 150 pounds an hour. And then in the corporate world, starting at 150 up. I mean, we have coaches charging a lot more than that in the corporate world. But again, there's other ways you can do it. You could charge a monthly retainer. I was talking to one of my coaches the other day. She's Louise. She's just launched a crisis package for her clients. And if they're in that midst at the beginning where they need a lot of help and support, then that's £1,200 a month. That gives you 4 weekly, so 1 weekly session, like a Zoom session, so 4 Zoom sessions a month. and then a bit of ad hoc half an hour on WhatsApp or email each week as well, which doesn't add up to huge amounts of her time. But again, 3 or 4 clients, she's making £3 or £4,000 a month. We've got other people on that scheme who've been doing it for longer. We've got 8 to 10 clients on that kind of scheme. So again, it's really up to you how you tailor it. But because we have this incredible community and training community as well, that you can come on and get help and support with all these different ideas as you progress through the different stages with your business. So we talk about pricing and pitching and how you can find these clients. And then also we give you other opportunities like, show you how to do a podcast. You can even be on my podcast. We have a package for that. We also, if you want to write a book or get an article published or get in the media, all these things I do on a very regular basis. I've got my 3rd book coming out in September, touch wood. It's called Screw You, Watch This. And then my 4th book with some of my coaches is coming out in January. So again, we've got lots and lots of different things you can get involved, but lots of experience as well. So if you need help with any of these things, then we do give webinars on those every month. So that's the training, and that's the content we cover. There's 3 ways we deliver that. The way we deliver it is that firstly, there's a video series. And that video series is there, you've got access to it for life. You work through it at your own pace, obviously from home. And it comes with a workbook. All the notes are written in the workbook. So really easy just to follow along, do the exercises, really simple. And also, if you want to practice some of the exercises with other coaches, we have a buddy system as well, so you can buddy up with other coaches in the community. Then we also have the live webinars, which are fab. They're like this. Everyone comes on, and again, it's either me or one of my trainer coaches. We have different topics. So the ones I tend to run are the business boosters about growing your business and coach skills and techniques. We have a digital marketing one. So if you've got questions on a website or social media, we have an expert that comes in every month. We also have supervision and support sessions where you could talk about client cases you've got. We also do role plays in those sessions as well. They're really good, very interactive. And then we also have a coursework support as well. So we have support as you're going through, you can ask questions on that too. So loads of different, well, we also have experts that come on every month. So we have a lot of different webinars, probably 1 or 2 a week. They're all recorded though, and they're not compulsory. So you can pick and choose the ones you come to. So again, super flexible. And then we also have a Facebook community. So if you've got extra questions or you want to buddy up with someone or you want to share some stories, or if you've been in a magazine or something or a newspaper, we get lots of coaches sharing those stories as well. So you can see what people are doing and what is possible out there. So that group is really supportive too. So the practitioner is a 12-month training. So you can actually work through a lot quicker than that and get your accreditation, but the support is there for 12 months. So what that means is whenever you decide to join is your day 1 of the 12 months. And then most people, I would say, would just a couple of hours a week study would be through the training within 3 to 6 months and accredited. Can go through a lot faster. 8 to 12 weeks is about the fastest, I would say, but most people are comfortably accredited within 6 months. And then the rest of that 12 months is there as support. So, how do I grow this part? Or can you just have a look at my website? Or what about this? What about that? So again, we're there to support. And the beauty of having that community as well is when you get your first clients, and maybe you haven't got a whole black book of maybe lawyers or mediators or, I don't know, stylists or nutritionists, we have that. So if your client is saying, gosh, can you help me with this particular issue, you can come to us. So whilst you're in relatively new business on your own, you've got the backing of a big, very well established, globally recognized brand behind you. So we do provide a lot of support. So you never really are on your own. So the community support is there for 12 months. You're welcome to stay with us for as long as you like. Most of our coaches have been with us since they've trained. It's less than £35 a month to get all that support ongoing forever. And if you want to renew your accreditation every year and update your skill set, you can do that. That's all included in that £35 a month as well. So all that is there for you. The price of that is normally £3,997, so £3,997. Although tonight, for anyone that wants to sign up for tonight, today and tomorrow, we're offering the discounted price of £2,997. So that's £1,000 savings. So it's £997. If you want to join tonight, I was just talking to my PA earlier because I'm launching a new training called my Coach Skills Workshop. So as a special offer for anybody that joins tonight, for the first 3 or 4 of you, I can give away a free place on that workshop. So that workshop is 4 live webinars with me. So I still do those. And what you do is get a little workbook with past case studies of past clients, and we role play them and go through them together. It's really good fun. It's very interactive. The first 1 or 2 sessions, everyone's a bit like, oh, and it's a bit clunky. But by the 3rd and 4th, you're really getting to see the magic that we're doing behind the scenes, and it really fast track you through. So just got a date for that, and it's coming out. I only do them once a year, so this one is happening. I think it's the date. I'm terrible with dates, but I think it's coming up at the end of September. For 4 weeks, or it might be October. There's a 4-week session, it might be October, but we've got 4 dates just launched because my diary is literally booked through the end of the year now. So we've got it in the diary. So anyone that signs up tonight, I will give you that for free. It's normally £500, but I will give to anyone tonight because we're launching that to the rest of our group tomorrow. But yes, that's the practitioner. Any questions on practitioner level? And then what I want to do also is talk to you a little bit about the master practitioner for those of you that have been in toxic relationships. So there's no questions. Gosh, I must be doing well. There's no questions. Must be a question. Okay, is everyone going to ask me, what's the coursework about, Sara? Anyone want to know about coursework? No? Yes? Maybe? Yes. Okay, thanks. Everybody putting me out of my misery, and Andrew. Okay, right. Let's do coursework because coursework is really simple. There's only 3 parts to it. And the first part is a case study based on a past client. And that coursework is great because you get to go through the case study and answer questions in the format of a session. And you'll have learned this and the structure of a session in the training. So you'll go through it with a technical example, if you like. And then we buddy you up with one of my elite team coaches. Now, these guys have been with me 4 years and they know my work inside out. We meet very, very regularly for ongoing training. And they are your buddy for your coursework. So there's no pass or fail. We will work with you. And the reason I do that is because I want to give you specific feedback to you. Because everyone learns differently. Some people are going to pick up some bits super easily. Some people are going to find some bits a bit harder. So what we do is we buddy you up with a coach who will tailor the feedback to you. And then you go backwards and forwards. And when you're ready to pass that first section, they'll move you on to part 2. Part 2, you will find somebody to coach, or we can help you find someone. You would do the session and then you would type up the notes from that session in the same format that you've learned. And then again, they would go to your buddy. And that's where you might need to go and do more sessions, more work with them, and then come back. But that elite coach buddy will work with you and make sure that you reach the high standard, because it is a high standard to pass. But so that you get there, we will work with you until you do. Some people will get through it very quickly. Other people, it might take a little bit longer. But our commitment to you is that we will get you there. And then the final part is an online multiple choice quiz, which covers the whole training just to make sure that there are no gaps in the training, and then you will have passed. It is triple accredited, so by me as the world's leading brand name in this field, so it is globally recognized. Secondly, we are an ICF, so an International Coaching Federation training provider. The big guys in the States, that's them, so the top accreditation there. And we are accredited by them under their CCE banner, which is their Continuous Coach Education. And then we're also CPD Standards Office accredited. And the reason I really like that accreditation is for those of you that want to go into corporates, they recognize that as well as all the others, but that's another really good one to have on there. So it's triple accredited and is recognized internationally. We have coaches all over the world in 30 countries. So again, it is you will find other coaches wherever you go at some point, because they are everywhere now. But there's a huge market, and that's why your brand is so important, because there's only one you. And then then we want to build a global business for you at the lowest possible cost. The tools, exercises you mentioned, have you created them? Yes. So everything I teach, I've created. I've been in this industry for 30 years. I've been coaching for 30 years. And everything I've learned over time is what I've put into this. So it doesn't exist anywhere else. It's the different things. Like I'm an absolute neuro-linguistic programming geek. Hypnosis, there's a bit of CBT in there. There's loads of different types that I've put together, but it's what works for my clients. It's not 101 coaching. It's a combination of tools. But again, I think one of the most important things is the recipe, the order that you put them together to get the desired result. And that varies based on personality and stage of the breakup, but we'll give you all that in the training. So it's unique, but yeah, I created all the tools and put them in there for you. And it's all tailored to breakup and divorce in practitioner. The master prac is my absolute baby, and that is because I'm a survivor of domestic abuse. And there are many people out there that are survivors as well. A lot of our coaches have been through it too. But there's such a need for supporting vulnerable people. This is everything I wish I'd had when I was going through my divorce process, going through the family law process. It was horrendous. So what I wanted to do was create some tools that would support people who were dealing with abuse. You'll see in the chat, Reem's kindly put in the links for the training. So there's the practitioner one, the first one, and then if you buy the master practitioner and the practitioner together tonight, there is another discount on there as well for you. So the master prac is about abuse, which sounds fun, doesn't it? But it's really changing lives, and actually it's saving lives in a lot of cases, which is it's just incredible. It's incredibly rewarding. So what's in it? It's all about what is abuse. How do we get into abusive relationships? Why do we stay? What are the cycles of abuse? How do you communicate with an abusive personality type? How do you emotionally disassociate? This is probably the gold dust of the whole training. And it's calm because I created the tool just to keep me sane and to keep me alive. But most clients won't be living with their abuser when we get to them because we're not frontline. Frontline to me is domestic abuse charity, police, social services, those guys. By the time they get to us, they're usually separated, they're living in separate places, but they're still high risk. And post-separation abuse is one of the biggest misunderstood issues we have in this country because they will control us and the abuse will continue through the finances and the children. And it can often escalate and you can even be at more high risk. In fact, 30% of domestic homicides happen within 3 months of separation. And of those murders, 80% of them, there was never any physical violence before. Never. So you can see how pulling away from a controlling personality escalates your risk. So again, it's something that we really need to be careful of, and corporates, by the way, which is why they're very interested. If you've got these skills, that opens up a whole other revenue stream for you because this is something that they need to tick a box. Domestic abuse guidance changed a couple of years ago to say that companies are recommended to have a domestic abuse policy. They're getting them in place, but they have no support. We are the only coaching training school for this kind of support. So it's incredible, the opportunity. We're working with Volvo. I trained the British government last year, just came back to me asking for more training this year. There's so many big and small companies that need this kind of, it's a box ticking for them, for some of them, but for some of them, they genuinely want to help support their team as well. So that's another huge opportunity if you do master practitioner. But then we take you on that journey with your client. So what is the divorce process like? Because there are pitfalls, especially if you have children going through the family court system. So what are they and how do you help to avoid them and work alongside lawyers that understand this? Because a lot of them just don't. Because they're experts in law, they're not experts in what we do. And actually, there's some horrors happening because they don't understand. So now lawyers, I'm doing a lot of educating. I was in Istanbul at the International Academy of Family Lawyers 2 weeks ago talking about this to them because they don't know a lot of this. And that's why they need us on side as well. So the law firms and the businesses. So this is a huge opportunity for us as coaches, but it's really helping so many people. And then as we go through that divorce process, what are the pitfalls? And then the trauma, how to help people manage the trauma, how to help them protect their children emotionally as well as themselves, and how to rebuild and recover from the trauma, fast tracking that at the end as well to come through. So that is slightly different, although it's video based and live sessions. And there's a lot of buddy coursework and working with a buddy on those sessions as well. It's a 10-week training. It's not 12 months, go at your own pace, because it's about abuse and I don't want anyone getting stuck or caught up in any of it. We move you through the entire content. There's a big manual, big workbook, and it's videos, but we move you through in 10 weeks. So we do it every sort of school term time. So the next one starts at the end of September and will run for 10 weeks. So if you did want to do both, you could be double accredited by probably early next year if you wanted to do that. The other really exciting thing about that training is it's also accredited CPD and me and by a UK domestic abuse charity that I'm the patron of, the Dash charity. And what that means is we actually get access to working alongside the charity online when they're working with their victims, which is more frontline work. So you actually get to sit in and actually experience what their frontline is like, some of the things they're seeing. So it gives you a really good, deep expertise and understanding. It's not a surface level training. It's a proper in-depth training, which will give you a huge skill set. You have to do prac to do master practitioner, because master practitioner is a specialist advanced training course, but you don't actually have to finish practitioner. So if you start it and you haven't quite finished it, you can do the 10 weeks. You can enjoy the 10 weeks, just pause practitioner, just do the 10 weeks when it starts, and then come back and finish practitioner. You can't get accredited in master practitioner. You can't do the coursework till you're finished with your practitioner, but you can repeat it as many times as you like. So a lot of people will get as far as they can in prac and then pause it when I do the master prac, and then come back and finish practitioner, and then maybe go again at master prac if they wanted to. There's a lot to absorb, and if you've been through a toxic relationship, it will immensely help you. I can't tell you how much the skills will help you. And also practitioner if you've been through a divorce or a breakup, and it's life skills, how to dial down negative emotions, how to take your power back, and all those things are great for whether you're going through a breakup or you're having a stressful day or your kids are doing GCSEs like mine. How to keep calm and dial down negative emotions is all really useful and every day too. So again, all these skills will be life enhancing for you. So again, super important life skills. Master prac, if you've been through a toxic relationship, it will give you some peace, it will give you some calm, it will give you some serious coping mechanisms. So again, that can be useful. So I would say if you are a survivor, you would want to do master practitioner at least twice. Once for you to get the content and start using the tools yourself, and then the second time round to come at it from how do I coach. Louise, yes, if you would like to do a payment scheme, then we can help you work something out. We can do that for you. I'm really interested in divorce and breakup in later life, 50 plus. Is there anything that specifically covers it? Yeah, well, everything we do covers all people going through breakup and divorce, and then we help you identify your niche. And then it was really interesting how you get the information. We've got some people in the community that focus in midlife, later life, all sorts of different areas. So absolutely, the tools will work with anyone, like any gender, any type of relationship, any age, any situation. But your brand will be where we highlight where those niche areas. So if you wanted to work on those in a certain age group, so 50 plus, then again, we find ways to help you create your brand so it appeals to that market. There's a huge amount of people that are going through breakups in their 50s. They're called the silver splitters now. We're in that group, and it's a great niche. We see a lot of people in that. And also the dating in that age group is crazy. They're all at it. So again, they have like 50s only, like 60s only dating apps as well. So there is a whole industry in there in itself. So absolutely. But you could do, I've got coaches who deal with heartbreak or affairs, or I think we're going to speak to one in a bit. So again, you can have a different niche. I'll keep your net open when you start for anybody, because you don't want to be too niche, but that's a massive niche, 50s plus anyway. And if you are 50 plus, you're going to attract those clients anyway. So again, you'll find that's who naturally comes to you. So what's the main difference between this and regular counselling? Oh yes, good question, Tammy. So very different. And then I'll go over to my coaches who can tell you a bit about their experience. But it's you get different types of therapists and counselors and coaches. So I don't want to generalize, but if you're asking me what the main differences are, is that usually therapy is non-directive. So it's usually sort of helping people self-identify ways forward to help themselves. in a lot of cases. Some therapists are more directive, but most, especially if you're dealing with counseling, it's non-directive. What we do is directive. So we don't tell people what to do, but we unpack all the options. We dive in and explore all the different areas. We unpack those options, and we basically can create action plans, bring in tools and techniques, and bring in suggestions. It's very dynamic and very results focused, and we're looking for fast positive transformations and those light bulb moments in each session. So again, it is a different pace, and a different sort of structure, and we can go to different places that they don't. But let's go to Jackie. Thank you, Jackie, for coming on as one of my coaches. And then Rima, if you could pop the link in again, if people want to look at the different packages that we have, then that'd be great.
Hey, hi Sarah.
Hi,
How
thanks
are
so much
you?
for coming on.
I'm good, thank you. It's really lovely to see you and to see everybody here. Hi, I'm Jackie and I'm a divorce coach and I'm also done master practitioner as well. And for me, becoming a divorce coach, it wasn't just a career decision. It was kind of a calling, if I'm being honest, because I know firsthand how overwhelming and isolating and confusing that the process can be. But I also know that with the right support, it's this kind of work can be such a doorway. I myself got a bit stuck in my divorce process and reached out and used one of Sarah's brilliant coaches who really did activate, is the right word, activated my process in a completely different way and helped get me over the line and get me divorced, which was transformational for me. And I just felt that I wanted to do something to sort of make lemonade out of lemons, really. I could see that this was not the ending of something, but the beginning of something. And so I took a chance and took on the practitioner course and just loved it, and then moved into master practice as well. I've just really enjoyed the sense of community that I found here as well, and also actually watching someone's transformation, working alongside people who are navigating pain and helping them with their paperwork, their emotional journey, and taking some of the chaos in their lives and just dialing that right down and giving them clarity when like everything just feels completely at sea has just been, it's just been a game changer for me personally. So I would say, even if you haven't got lived experience of this, the toolkit is something that you can really use in your day-to-day life. If you never coached one-to-one, you would use this in your own day-to-day working arrangements as well. You would find this as such a useful toolkit. So I don't know if that's going to be
Oh.
helpful for anyone today, but that's been my experience.
Oh, thanks so much, Jackie. And I don't know if anyone's got any questions for Jackie. Feel free to ask any questions to anyone. We've also got Natalie, who's kindly come on as well. Natalie, hi. Thanks so much for
Hello.
coming on. Hi, good evening, everybody. So I've been a coach now for um getting on for 3 years, I think now, Sarah.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
been a
long
while.
time.
I
Yeah.
started my training because I was going through a divorce, and I'd had some counseling, and Sarah kept popping up on my Instagram, and a lot of what I was hearing resonated, and it was exactly what I needed, and it wasn't what I was getting from counseling, it wasn't what I was getting from my friends. So rather than see a coach, I decided to become a coach. So similar to Jackie, I was going through so much pain that it felt like it had to mean something. There had to be some reason for it, that wasn't just the end of my marriage and, trying to sift through it all. So I raced through practitioner, I think, quite quickly in about 4 months. The materials are really easy to use, but they're also super engaging. So I think you'll find Jackie's nodding. She knows exactly what I mean. You watch one video and then I'll just watch one more. It's almost like a Netflix box set because you're getting so much out of it. You're getting so much value. I also went on to do master practitioner. Um, Master practitioner is really powerful, and the tools that you learn in there and the skills, as Sarah was saying, they are invaluable. And even I would say in 99% of my coaching cases, even if there isn't an abusive relationship preceding the divorce, even in these non-abusive situations, you do find that when it comes down to court, it comes down to negotiating, that things turn toxic. We see coercive control, we see financial control. So the tools come in handy in most cases anyway. I absolutely love what I do. I've just got my first client in New Zealand, so that's really exciting. My first client from the other side of the world. Every session is different, so it really does inspire you. You don't, no two clients are the same, no two sessions are the same. So I absolutely love what I do. All right, thank you, Sara.
Oh, thanks so much for coming on, because both Natalie and Jackie, thank you for volunteering to pop on tonight. I really appreciate it. It's always great. I mean, as you can see, you kind of have to be warm and friendly to do this job. So we have the most amazing community of lovely, like Jackie and Natalie, like friendly, upbeat, and that's our community, full of people like this who are just super supportive. If you pop a question on the WhatsApp group, you'll get somebody coming back to you going, oh, have you tried this? Or I'll call you, don't worry, I'll help, I'll do a buddy session. I mean, you will definitely find your tribe, you'll definitely make friends. And we have, I don't laugh at this, but we have every year our annual International Breakup and Divorce Coach Conference in London. And we have an amazing lineup of speakers. I'm super excited about this year's. We've got some incredible speakers coming. But last year, because I can't announce all of them yet from this year because I haven't announced them yet, but last year we had Andrew McLean, we had a Hollywood actor who's released a film called To Love a Narcissist, we had a High Court judge, we had one of the top law firms in the country, Fiona Shackleton's office sponsored the event, we had the midlife mentors talking about menopause, we had, I mean, it was an incredible, like about 10 speakers, authors, celebrities, influencers, experts in our field, like incredible. And we're getting a very similar lineup for this year in November. It's just a one-day event. It's great fun. You get to network with everyone. So we do get together as well, which is always nice, I think. But you don't have to come to that. But that's always nice if you can. Most people come along and try to. Louise asked, do your videos touch on how divorce affects children and any exercises apply for that? Look, everything that I've talked about, including the children stuff, is in there. And I'm always, and the team will tell you, always putting new stuff in. Every week, every month, I do webinars on different topics and they go in. So there's constant, so it's not, I mean, this is ever evolving, which is why being part of the community, you'll get the latest information. I did a huge webinar on psychology and coach mindset recently. I mean, there's always new stuff we're putting in. Also, if that's your topic, children and emotions, yes, there's content in there, but you can jump on a live with me like this and ask me any questions, because as you can tell, I love a question. So, if you ask me any question, I will talk on that topic. Like I talk on this all day, whether it's on the radio, on TV, or writing books or articles or training the coaches. This is my life. So all these tools and techniques we have about empowering kids, and you might have a certain audience and we can tailor it to that. Very often on my webinars, people will come and say, oh, I've got this or I've got that coming up, this presentation, can you help me prep for it? Or a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live. So we do it. So again, it's very tailored to suit what's going on, and you can get the live help as well as what's already there. So if there's something you're thinking, oh, I want a bit more on that or a bit of a different niche, fine, bring it and we will do it. So we cover everything, because it's a moving feast and everyone has different styles, different businesses, different ways of doing things. So any questions, anyone? As I said, we've got a special offer on. The master practitioner is normally 4,497 and it's 3,497 tonight. So again, £1,000 off that. You'll more than make that back with your corporate clients. As I said, they want many more sessions than just the one or two, because the boss is paying, and usually one or two a week. So we find that they're really lucrative, as well as the other clients that you get who are also going through toxic relationships. You can go deeper if you've got master prac, and the sessions go on for longer, because those relationships tend to go on for, unfortunately, a very long time. So again, lots and lots of things with that you can dive into and get extra support. Tammy, would you like to ask me your question?
There we go. I did unmute myself. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Tammy. Yeah, I was just interested because my assumption, I mean, my parents went through divorce, but I haven't been through it. But my assumption is, apart from the emotional side, which will be devastating for a lot of people, is your first direction, I would have assumed, would be a lawyer, to get financial advice, practical advice, etc. And I was just wondering then how the connection would be made with a coach. Or would you stay, how would that, because the lawyer, in my experience of solicitors, they are very keen on earning money and lots of it.
It's a very nice way of putting it, Tam.
I'm just trying to understand that connection, is how you would get your clients. You
Yeah.
mentioned earlier on that there are obviously signposting and you can work with lawyers, and I'm sure you can build a connection there. But initially, when you're starting out, it just the thought came into my head, because obviously I'm thinking practically as well as being a good coach.
Someone's laughing at your lawyer comment. I don't know what you mean. No, they don't know what you mean. Okay, yeah, don't get me started on that topic. But yes, I most of my clients don't have a lawyer, and they come to me saying, "Can you help me find somebody?" So
Okay.
that's usually the way I find. And then I have relationships with law firms who will say, "This client needs you. Can you come in and help?" So it works both ways. But we're not only getting clients who are going through the legal process either. So again, some people don't want a lawyer, don't need a lawyer. A lot of people are scared of lawyers. They don't want to go to them first. They'll have heard of us through social media. I do a lot of work to promote what we do. They will have seen, social media or, articles. So yeah, it depends. But yeah, I mean, there are going to obviously be some lawyers who aren't going to refer because they want to make all the money themselves. You're absolutely right. And then there's the lawyers that want to work collaboratively and will gladly refer because they don't want the calls at 6 o'clock on a Friday night or Sunday morning or Sunday night when drop off or pick up time has happened and it's gone wrong. And yeah, they don't want that. So, it's about being smart about where you're putting your time when you're finding these connections. There's the dark side of family law that I talk about, which makes me quite unpopular in certain circles. And then there's the good guys. And again, it's like looking for finding the lawyers that are going to refer, finding the people that, because even in one law firm, then there'll be some partners that won't and some that will. So again, it's sort of going in and getting to know people, and then you'll find. But most of my clients do not have lawyers, which is why the lawyers want relationships with divorce coaches, because they, guess what, want you to refer to them. So yeah, and through the hub, I've managed to set up referral scheme so that if you do refer to any of the lawyers that we have on that platform, and they're all good ones, there's no dark side in there. And they're only people that you can't just come on it. But they will give an introduction fee to the law to our coach for introducing, which is unheard of, and they won't give it to you if you go direct. So again, because we've got a well-known brand and they respect what we're doing, the ones that we work with will give us an introduction fee. So rather than us sending loads of money and loads of clients to lawyers, it's one way you can actually make money out of that now too. So yeah, there's lots of things like that we try and set up for you guys so that otherwise we're just, it doesn't work. So yeah. It's a good question, but most people will be at that. How do I find, do I need a lawyer? Can I do it without a lawyer? Can I do it online? The shift towards no fault divorce and doing things online means that people have more money to spend on coaching. People aren't so bothered about getting a lawyer. If they can try and do it without the family courts, they will. There's been a lot of press about how toxic the family courts are. A lot of people want to stay out of it. So again, lots of reasons why people won't go to the lawyers first. Yeah, good question though. So who here is thinking they might join us? Let me just see who might be joining us. You're thinking about it, Andrea? Yeah. And Tanita, hello. Do you have a question as well, Tanita? Or are you just saying you might be joining us? Oh, and Louise. Tanita, did you have a question? Yeah? Oh, just putting your hand up. 1 second. There you go.
Hi.
Yeah.
That with this it's really funny because I'm going through a divorce now, separation since last year. Divorce started in December, but until now cannot be finalized, and I'm like, God damn it, when is this gonna get over with and done? And luckily a week ago I was going through my Facebook and I saw your advertisement there. And it's like literally I sit there and I listen to what you had to say. And I was like, God, Is this the sign that I've been asking for? Because I've started a counseling course, which I'm finishing now, because I just have my last 3 questions to do to submit. And I'm like, I want to my breakup help someone else.
Yeah.
But after I complete this course, if I want to do a business, how am I going to do it? That's what I was thinking. And then you came across and it took me like 2 days before I literally signed up to come
Oh.
onto this. And now to see, I'm like, yeah, this is what I think I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
You know?
Actually, lots of people say that. I think it's quite unusual. There's nobody else doing what we do. We're very unique. And the thing is, I can't train the passion. I can see you've got the passion there, Tanita. I
Yeah.
mean, you've got to
And
bring,
my daughter said to me, Mommy, did you go to do counseling because of us? And I'm like, maybe because some of the time, Mommy don't know how to read you guys. So I have to do something that is going to enlighten you guys to feel better about
yeah.
yourself. Because things happen, but that doesn't mean that it is your fault and you have to blame yourself for it.
Oh, I love that. And my son is 16 now. He was 1 when we went through it. And we've been to hell and back many times with a very abusive ex. But he's incredible. And a lot of the tools that I share are worked on. He has a good relationship with his dad now, as far as is safe to do so. And it's about working that fine line. And I think that's something that makes me very passionate about helping kids. But I think a lot of the time as adults, we do more for our kids than we will for ourselves. So as a coach, it can be great leverage with clients to help them to move if they're going to move for kids. Um, I was referred by a Tammy, who's doing the course. Oh, fab. Yeah, definitely you can come back and do whenever you like, join and do. Obviously, we've got the offer on at the moment, and tonight we've got the special. So if you are going to join in just a few weeks, it makes sense to get the discount now. But obviously, if you want to speak to one of the team, we can talk to you about how you can do it, make it possible. So if you want to put something down before you go, you can look at that to lock it in. But absolutely up to you guys. But I would love to see you all on a webinar soon. Any other questions before we go? Because I know some of you will have to go. No? Okay, been very, very great audience. Thank you so much for being on tonight. Really appreciate it. Could do with some men joining, Howard. There's a lot of female coaches, and there's a great market for male coaches. So if you decide you do want to be brave, we do have men on the training, don't we, ladies? We do. We do. And they do well because I guess you're in the minority. So it is definitely a good career for a male coach as well. In fact, I always have lawyers phoning me going, do you have any male coaches? So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys. I would love to see you all on a webinar soon. I'm going to stay on for a little bit if anyone wants to ask me questions one-on-one. But thank you so much, everybody. And hopefully I will see you in the training soon. Thank you. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye.
Hi, Sarah. Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
I can't see myself. I just wanted to say, I think you have saved me indirectly. Without getting into details, the definition and the name for everything I have, it was sent to me by PHP last year.
Oh.
And without knowing how bad things were, I sadly left them. But I'm going to be working with one of your coaches starting tomorrow. Under normal circumstances, I think I would have signed up right now, but I'm trying to slow down and process things. But I'm 46, have a master's degree, etc., etc. And I know there are a lot of people here, so I shouldn't dominate it. But I just wanted to say thank you. And at some point, I will email you PA because she would have had some direct emails trying to ask you to join the law firm I'm with. But you were doing an immense, immense work. I have 2 kids, and I think they have a much better mom thanks to you.
Oh, thank you. That means the world to me. Gosh, I mean, wow, that really does. That's why I do what I do, to be honest. So if it can help just one person, and PHP are an incredible law firm. That was Fiona was many years ago, was my divorce lawyer, and yeah, they're incredible. So you've got a good
I
team.
got tricked into leaving her, and that's my regret.
Oh, well,
But
yeah.
it's okay. I'll take it away from this forum. But yes, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate you saying that. That's lovely. Thank you. Anyone else got any questions now? I'll stop recording if